is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of CBTV, comic book television, The Walking Dead style. And yeah, we got a fancy little sign. We spent a lot of money on that sign over the break. We did a lot of fundraisers, and we're glad that you guys could see that for the first time. But we're back. The wait is over, finally, after, I don't know, like 90 some days.
Yeah, CBTV's back. We know you guys have been dying to see it, probably more than Walking Dead, but we're finally back. And we're here to do what Talking Dead does, but in our own way.
Yeah, Chris Hardwick, come at us. So as you guys know, if you haven't seen CBTV before, we have 5 questions weekly that we ask. One of the questions is the same every week. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the first question here.
When is everyone going to reunite?
Alright, so the question was, when is everyone going to reunite? And also, if you guys didn't know, he's focusing on the TV side of things, and I'm focusing on the comic book side of things, hence CBTV. So I'm going to focus all of my answers on strictly what's come out of comic books in general, and he's going to do television. So, in the comics, after the prison storyline, it happens just like it happened in the show. They did a great job with it. Everyone kind of splits up, and it takes, probably around 10 or so issues for everyone to reunite. So in episode time, I would say 2 or 3 episodes, and they'll all be back together. I don't think it'll take them too long. I think they all kind of know each other by now and kind of know what one another's going to do. In the episode last night, Michonne and Rick and Carl are already back together. So obviously Michonne kind of knew what path to take. And so in the comics, it kind of shows that too. It kind of shows them all, they all meet back up at Herschel's farm, because they had a plan in the comics where to meet up, and Herschel's farm wasn't destroyed, which they should have done, whatever. But, so I don't think it'll take them too long. I think they all kind of know each other by now and kind of know what they should do. So.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 to 3 episodes too. I think the exact same thing, because in TV, you can't split your cast off for so long. You've got to get them back pretty quick together. And so I think it's not going to take very long for them to do that. I think maybe someone's going to come and help them that they don't know yet, and then that's going to reunite them, and like they would have already found Rick, Carl, and Michonne, or the other group, and like reunites them together. So I don't think it's going to take very long at all.
So 2 to 3 episodes. Look for everybody to get back together, hopefully, and they all stay alive. Question number 2. When will the next threat show up? So, in the comics, after the whole prison storyline and after they finally reunite, they end up making their way to another little town led by a guy named Spencer Monroe. And this place is called the Alexandria Safe Zone. Rick and his group are found on the road by 2 guys named Aaron and Eric, and they are led back to this place called Alexandria Safe Zone. And in this whole Alexandria Safe Zone storyline, which is still continuing in the comic books today, the next threat that shows up is a guy named Negan, which, if you've read the comics, you know is the biggest threat The Walking Dead's ever had. 10 times the governor. And it takes a while for them to set up the whole Negan storyline and him to be introduced. So I don't think the next really big threat is going to show up until probably, I want to say like midway-ish through the next season, to be honest. I think they're going to have there's another storyline called Fear the Hunters, where it's like this group of cannibals and stuff like that. I think they might do this at the second half of this season, but I don't think any big threat's going to show up until like midway through next season.
I think kind of the same thing. I think that they're probably going to have another Sophia-like storyline. It won't necessarily be someone goes missing and it takes that long to find them, but season 2 really didn't have that much of an antagonist if you really don't count Shane, because he wasn't really going after all of them. He was just kind of going after Rick by himself. So I think it's going to be really character driven this last half of season 4, and then I think kind of what you said, like about midway through season 5, or maybe a little bit into season 5, they'll introduce a new big villain that will take over from there. I think it's gonna coast for a little while off the fumes of the governor and show everyone's kind of getting back together and getting back to how they would normally act. And then I think that's when the next threat shows up, when they think they're back together and everything's safe again. That's when the next one's going to show up. Question 3, how long until new characters are introduced? Not very long at all.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be very long at all until new characters are introduced. I mean, immediately after the prison storyline, Rick and Carl end up going back to find Morgan, which he's not a new character, but immediately after they go back and get Morgan, new characters introduced named Abraham and Eugene, and like I said about Aaron and Eric, when they find that Alexandria safe zone, they're introduced. I mean, they get a whole group together, like a brand new group together, almost immediately after the prison storyline. I think it'll take 2-3 episodes max. Just like whenever the gang reunites again, I think new characters are going to be introduced in those same episodes. So.
I think that, because I've also read the comics, but I'm trying to do it from a TV perspective, so it's really hard. I think that the new characters will show up soon because everyone is kind of split right now, and of course, if you don't want to get them back together and you want to keep the drama of like how will they find each other, a good thing you could do is introduce strangers.
Yeah.
And so I think that they will introduce Abraham and his crew.
Right. I mean, we still don't know where Carol is.
Right. And so I think that they will get together with one of the groups. I'm pretty sure that it'll be Rick, Carl, and Michonne, but I'm not 100% on that. And I think that they're going to keep like this season-long thing of where is the other group, like where do we know where they are. And then I think maybe the season finale will be them finding Alexandria and thinking, wow, we finally found a place to live now. I think everything's going to be okay. But I don't think maybe, like, it's going to be 2 to 3 episodes. 2 or 3 episodes, everything's going to happen.
I think it'd be really cool to see Abraham and Daryl meet Abraham for the first time. Abraham just be like, yeah, I'm better than you.
Because Daryl and Abraham have kind of the same personality, like this gruff, but like sweetheart. They're sweethearts.
For now. Number 4. This episode after was focused heavily on Carl. It was a big episode for him. So this question is Carl going to be doing more things on his own? And this episode was a really big hint towards the comics, because in the comics he grows up really fast. After his mother dies and his sister dies in the comics, which they still haven't addressed that.
Yeah, we don't know if she's dead.
I have no idea. But after that, and after Rick's like stuff and things, whatever he had going on there, Carl really steps up and like grows up. You can see it in the comics, like how much he grows up. He's shooting things now, like without hesitation. He's telling people off, he's telling people what to do. He's doing all this stuff in the comics, and he's doing like a lot of stuff on his own. So I think that he's going to start doing more stuff on his own. Not sure if this is going to be good or bad, but I think it's just going to have to see how the writers of the show do it. But in the comics, everything that he does is pretty good, but there's a couple things that he does that screws over the whole group, so we'll see.
I don't know if he's necessarily going to be doing more things on his own. I think he's going to be more independent than he was before. I think he'll be able to more confidently do things that he would have done before anyway, but he'll have more confidence with it now. I don't think he's going to go as full-fledged in the comics as he does, because I know, like, reading it is one thing, but seeing it like actually happen with real-life people, even though they're playing characters, is a whole nother story. And Rick's been the one that's been trying to keep everybody safe, and just seeing Carl react to Rick the way that he did in this episode, I know it made me upset a little bit, and I'm sure it made a lot of other people upset. So I don't think Carl's going to go like completely off the rails like he does in the comics a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think he'll have more confidence in like being with a group now, like going out with someone. He'll have more confidence in doing that and killing zombie, because he knew that he could survive on his own without his dad. But I don't think they're going to go as crazy with it as they do in the comics.
And the 5th and final question, the one we ask every week, is who do you think is going to die soon?
The governor. Oh, wait.
What? Herschel. Moment of silence. Who do I think is going to die soon? The 2 girls, Micah, and Lizzie, whatever. Micah and Lizzie. I don't think they're gonna last much longer. There's a twin. There's some twins in the show or in the comic called Ben and Billy, and I think they're kind of representing them. And there's kind of a little storyline in the comics about that. And I think that's who are representing Micah and Lizzie. And I also think that Carol, she's got to go soon. She's gone in the comics. She's got to go soon. I mean, I know she's a big character in the show. People like her, but I think she's going to go soon. I think that they're going to reintroduce her back, and then they're going to kill her off, which is going to be a crazy way to do it. But I think those three are really the only three people I can think of that are going to go really soon. Other than that, Tyrese maybe. There's a bunch of people that are gone in the comics that are not gone in the show. So, I mean, it's completely different. So I can't really, it's really hard for me to answer this question every week because it sucks that the way they do it is not,
so different.
Yeah, everything's so different, but it's a good way too, so.
I also have the theory about the twins. I think that those two girls aren't going to last very much longer. One is going to last a little bit longer than the other because of something that happens in the comics, which I think that they're setting up for with Tyrese to find it like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think really the only two dispatchable characters I could see right now that wouldn't have any like real big effects on everybody would be Beth and Sasha.
Yeah.
And they're the only real. I mean, like Maggie would be upset if Beth went, and Tyrese would be upset if Sasha went.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't like carry over. Like you couldn't kill Daryl and just have people in the next episode or two be like, okay, well that wasn't such a huge blow.
Yeah.
With Beth and Sasha, you can do that. You can still kill off a cast member that you know.
But they're my favorite characters, Beth and Sasha.
Whatever. Whatever.
They're gone. Stop.
And I was also just thinking about this. He was talking about the Fear the Hunter storyline with cannibals and whatnot. Wouldn't it be interesting if Carol was the leader of those cannibals now?
That would be cool.
Because she's all like, you have to do whatever you have to do to survive now.
Yeah.
What if she found a group of cannibals and like she started eating people?
That would be so weird to see.
It would be weird to see.
You see her gnawing on arm. Hey guys.
I think that they could do it.
Yeah.
I think they could do it justice. I don't know if she would be a leader or maybe just in
maybe
that
she's
group.
the meal for the group.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But that would be pretty cool to see if Carol was that. But really just Beth and Sasha right now. They can't kill anybody else. They've already killed off one of the main characters that's been there for a long time. In episode 13 was Days Gone By?
The most recent one?
The mid-season finale?
That was episode 8.
That was episode 8? Jesus.
Yeah, 16 episodes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Episode 8. And so I think they're just going to...
That's a hint. Somebody's going to die in 13.
Kill off anybody. It's going to be a dispatchable character and one that won't affect the show that much.
Yeah. So that will do it. 5 questions. CBTV episode 4. I hope that we are on episode 4, not like 3.
I think we're on 4.
We can... CBTV.
We're on 1 episode. We're on
a
episode.
So, as always, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week. And if you have any questions that you want us to address, tell us in the comments. We're not going to do it. Yeah, we're not going to do it. I mean...
So there's no use.
Yeah, just forget it. Dislike the video. I'm kidding. Like it, ask us some questions, and we will see you next week. I'm going to awkwardly push this button now. Ow!
That would have been cool. That would have been a cool ending.
Dang it.